Welcome back to the channel, everyone, where we take a scientific approach and couple it with experience and apply that to strength training. In today's episode, we're going to take a look at the power of compounding and how that can be important in having a long-term vision in your strength journey. So to illustrate the power of this compounding of strength and the importance of having this long-term time horizon for your training process, I went ahead and set up 3 different scenarios, right? So we have 3 lifters. We're going to start them all at the same total, so 1,200 pounds. I think this is a reasonable starting total. And each lifter is going to have a different situation, right? So for lifter 1, this may be your typical aggressive lifter, right? This is your person who is pushing very hard to make as fast of progress as possible. So in this case, we may say this person is pushing for 10% annual rate of increase. So to put that in perspective, after 1 year of training at this rate, they would have a total of 1,320 pounds after 1 year, right? From 1,200 pounds. That would be a 10% increase. This is aggressive, right? Now, for a lot of you with beginner gains, a 10% increase in the first year is not unreasonable, if not more. But expecting this rate year after year can become aggressive. So maybe in pushing themselves to get 10% each year, this lifter maybe shortens their career in the sport to 5 years, right? Maybe injuries stack up, mental burnout can happen from pushing so hard to achieve such a great rate of return on their strength, right? Next, for lifter 2, we're going to kind of find that moderate area where maybe they're achieving a 5% rate of increase on their strength, right? So not nearly as quick, half as fast as lifter 1. And in taking the slightly moderated approach, they last in the sport for 10 years, right? And that's a decade of training and putting in time. And maybe within those 10 years, they're still pushing it relatively hard, and they decide to go ahead and retire. Maybe some injuries stack up. And then I have lifter 3, who truly is in it for the long haul. They love the sport, but maybe they're not as genetically gifted as lifter 2 or even lifter 1. So their rate of increase is only 2% per year. But because they really love what they do, they love the gym, they love the training process, their time horizon is going to be 30 years in the gym. So add units here. This would be years. Right? So now this is going to be fun exercise. I will plug this into a compounding interest calculator. Basically, this is usually used for finance, but we can apply it the same way to our training, and we will see what these lifters will have as a total at the end of their career. Now that I've punched in the numbers, right? Lifter 1, who has increased at this rapid rate of 10% per year, but only lasts 5 years in the sport, ends up with a total of 1,932 pounds, which is a very, very good powerlifting total, right? Compare that to where they started. That is a ton of progress, right? Now, this was short-lived, right? They made progress fast. I'm sure social media ate up their progress for how fast it was moving, but it only lasted 5 years and then they were out of it, right? Now, for lifter 2, at 5% per year, but this time for 10 years, we're doubling the rate. This lifter has achieved a total of 1,958 pounds. Maybe we'll put this down below. 1,958 pounds. Right, so by putting in more time, this lifter has not had to press as much. Maybe they are not putting their body in as much risk as lifter one. They've lasted 10 years in the sport, gotten to enjoy it for that long, and they have a slightly higher total than lifter one, who pushed it way harder, right? 1958 pounds. Now, let's take a look at lifter three. This is the interesting case. This lifter only increased 2% per year over a span of 30 years. So to put that in perspective, after the first year, we had mentioned lifter one would have a total of 1,320 pounds with a 10% increase. After that same first year, lifter three would only have a total of 1,224 pounds. They only put 24 pounds on their total after that first year. However, because they stuck with it, and the slower rate of increase probably meant that they were not pushing the envelope nearly as much. They were being patient in their training. After 30 years, the end total ends up being 2173 pounds, which is significantly higher than either lifter one or lifter two. Now, I have to say, this is just to demonstrate the power of time and compounding and how that can help your lifts. This is not exactly how everything works. Your total is going to be limited by genetics. You're not always going to have this linear rate of return. But if you take this and think about the mindset for each lifter, right? The short-term focused lifter who maybe compromises health to get quicker returns, in the end is probably not going to end up with the biggest total, which is the goal in powerlifting, right? We want to get the strongest. And if you look at many of the national champions, they are older because of this, right? They've had more time to put into the sport, slow and steady, right? So this hopefully reinforces why you should trust the process. Take it slow. It is not a rush. I know sometimes social media makes it seem like it is, but this is the power of compounding in your strength in the gym. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. And until next time, happy lifting.